Hi, and welcome to the APCO Historical Committee Reminiscing with History Makers. We're here today with Matt Stillwell, the Director of Public Safety Communications in Oklahoma. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
So to dive into things, tell us, when did you join APCO?
It was 1994, so I've been a member for almost 25 years now, so and very active from the beginning.
All right. Could you describe your agency, your position there, and kind of a brief list of responsibilities?
Sure. I've been with the City of Edmond, Oklahoma, as the Director of Public Safety Communications and Emergency Management since 2006. There I oversee all of the public safety communications functions, the 911 center, the technology, cell phones for the city, wireless phones, along with the alarm ordinance. We do that out of our department. And I also oversee the emergency management department, where I have a staff of 2 folks, and we're in Oklahoma and we're dealing with all kinds of disasters and that kind of stuff that are related to emergency management, so that's another big part of the job. Prior to that, actually, I was in Florida, the city of Coral Springs, the police department. Started as a dispatcher in 1984 and worked my way up, became the manager there for the final 12 years of my career in Coral Springs.
What would you say drew you to join APCO?
Well, yeah, I was progressing in the agency, promoting up, again, starting as a dispatcher, then as a line supervisor. And then when I was finally promoted into management, the manager position, that's when I really found out about APCO, what APCO had to offer, and then stepped up and joined at that point.
Can you describe your APCO activities at the state chapter and the national level?
Yeah, I've had the privilege to be involved at the state level, both in Florida and in Oklahoma. I was president of the Florida chapter in 2005 and served on that board for several years and committees. Moving out to Oklahoma. Actually, Oklahoma was a very small chapter at the time. There was very little involvement, so there was an opportunity there. They asked me to be the executive council representative for the state, which I did for several years, and then ultimately was elected to the APCO board of directors.
Any activities in there that would jump out as a favorite for you?
Well, it's been very rewarding. There's been opportunities both in Florida and Oklahoma. I think you first approach it kind of inward as far as how is this going to help me grow as a leader, and that quickly transitions into the opportunity really to serve and to have an impact not only on other people but also on the industry as a whole.
You mentioned the opportunities to grow. Would you say that your APCO membership has had a direct effect on your career in public safety communications?
It's had a monumental effect. I look at this career as a calling. Most of us that work in public safety communications really didn't plan to do so. We kind of ended up here. And as I've reconciled my career and looked back over it, I certainly see that as a calling and an opportunity to serve and to make a difference in other people's lives. In fact, I lost track of what the original question was. So.
Just having a direct effect on your career.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The leadership opportunities, not only what's provided through the association, but one of the biggest impacts really has to do with the networking opportunities and to meet some of the finest leaders in our industry in the world. I've been privileged to have the opportunity to meet a lot of folks and learn from a lot of folks. Some of the most significant mentors in my career really have come out of this association. That's
great. Would any of those stand out as what you like most about the organization, APCO?
Yeah, I think it really does boil down to the opportunity, again, to work with other people, network with other people, forge friendships, and even professional relationships. The opportunity to serve on committees, to really be on the cutting edge of what's happening in our industry. It's really important to stay in front of those things. APCO has been a great venue for that to happen, a great way for me to learn, and probably the biggest thing is the way I've grown as a leader. I don't believe that I would be as effective as I am, or my career would have been as rewarding as it is if it wasn't for the association.
Sure. With all of that, what would you say APCO does better than anyone else?
Well, they're the largest association. I think APCO does a good job in, with both the operational piece and the technical piece. I came into it as an operations person. As I was promoted, there were some technical responsibilities that came along with that. So the association gave me the opportunity to address those operational issues and learn about those operational issues, while at the same time better preparing me for what really is the secondary piece at one point in my career, is that technical piece, to be able to grow and understand the technology, because that's so important in today's comm center.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you think that APCO would need to do to move forward or to stay current in the industry?
Yeah, well, I think they're doing a good job with that. There's all kinds of acronyms, buzzwords, and stuff that we've been through. The digital standards for radio and stuff over the years. Now, Next Gen 911 is really one of the big issues and stuff. And I think the association is doing a good job in staying ahead. Their P43 initiative that they did in the last couple of years, looking at how Next Gen is going to affect the operations of the center, was something that nobody else was doing out there, and kind of gave our industry an indication of what to expect. There's a crystal ball out there that's not real clear on a lot of this stuff. But APCO does a good job in trying to find solid foundations to prepare us, to keep us thinking, to give us information, give us data that we need in order to move forward in an industry that's just constantly changing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So personally, what would you say stands out as a significant contribution during your specific time at office?
Oh, there's been so many. From the beginning, I was very interested in the operational standards, the training standards that affect our industry, and have had the privilege to be involved in the creation of those standards over the years, even going back to the original P33 public safety telecommunicator training standard, to see how that's evolved over the years into the what we call the PST now, and moving our standards into an ANSI environment. So I was very privileged to be able to early on be involved in those committees, take on leadership roles in those committees over the years, to learn the standards process, to affect and really have an impact on what those standards are for the work that we do. That's been extremely rewarding, but that's just one piece of it. I've really had the privilege to be involved in leadership, both at the state level and in Florida and Oklahoma, and at the national level with the executive council work, and ultimately on the board of directors. Very, very rewarding environment where you're working with the best professionals in the business, so you're shoulder to shoulder with them, while addressing the issues that we face, and having an impact on some positive change that affects what we do in a very positive way. So it's you put the whole package together, and I don't know how I ended up here, but certainly I consider myself blessed, and certainly consider it a privilege to have been involved at the level that I have been throughout my career.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing all that with us.
Sure.
This has been Reminiscing with History Makers, and thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.